Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the middle of June 2024. You have the bear and you also have the ship here. The bear can represent being lifted up or kind of like someone giving you some sort of leg up in something. It's also a card of like learning something as well. It can represent like an overbearing energy as well. It can represent something that's like putting too much pressure on you or that's causing a lot of problems for you here, Sagittarius. So, obviously you have the Ten of Swords, you have the Six of Swords here. If you are experiencing an overbearing energy, like in work or business or love or otherwise, then I would leave whatever that situation is. The Hermit kind of says that you've already learned enough from the situation. You've already learned all the lessons you can. And again, I want to stress this is only for those of you that are dealing with like an overbearing situation or that are dealing with something that's taking up too much of your time. So I think it would be great for you to do that. The ship can represent moving on from something. It can also represent moving towards something. So it doesn't have to be, this doesn't have to be a bad thing, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, you're, walking away from a person. It could, but it could also just represent you going on a journey or you learning new things. You start off with the Hermit, and again, I feel you are kind of getting out of Hermit mode with the Hermit. So I feel like you are leaving this learning period that you've been in. The Hermit is about climbing to the top of the mountain, doing some soul searching or going through a dark night of the soul. And it kind of says you've learned a lot of lessons and now it's time to get out into the world. But I get more of this feeling, you have the Sun, you have the Knight of Wands. These are like cards of attention. You have some other stuff here as well. And so I feel like you are coming out of Hermit mode and you're just like stepping out into the world. You have the Lovers. And there is a little bit of love here. So if you want love, there definitely could be a new connection coming in for you. I kind of feel this is more talking about you being at a crossroads or having a choice to make. Traditionally, the Lovers was not about love. Traditionally, the Lovers was a card of the crossroads or having a choice to make. And you have this Between Worlds card that I'm going to show you in just a minute for your next row as well. So maybe you are trying to make some decisions or choices in your life on new directions that you want to move in, or whatever the case may be. The Sun, there's actually a couple of things going on here. Number one, you have the Sun. The Sun can say you need to move towards your attention. The sun is like a spotlight. It shines a light on things that we need to pay attention to. And there's a big sun behind this guy here. This is your higher self angel. And, it can just say you need to move towards the sun. You need to move towards your happiness. You also have the Eight of Cups, which is just like walking away from something. And you also have the Judgment card, which I feel I kind of am taking it literally. I feel like the Judgment card is saying you need to trust your judgment on decisions that you're making. I also kind of feel like something is just dead, done, over with. The Ten of Swords, this guy is definitely dead. It doesn't take 10 swords to kill a person, obviously. But he's making this symbol right here with his hands. And it's the same symbol that the Hierophant is making on his card. And it kind of just represents a blessing in disguise or receiving some sort of blessing in your life. So I feel after an ending that you could be going through right now, I feel like some of you have already experienced the ending. Others of you are going through the ending. It's like you're moving on from something. And whatever it is, it's going to be like a blessing, clearly, just based off of what's showing up here. With the Hermit, you have the Moon. I love readings that go from the moon to the sun, that direction. That to me says you are leaving behind a moon period and you're stepping into a sun period. Again, the moon is confusion, fears, illusions, not being sure what to do. The sun is the total opposite. The sun says the sun is coming up in your life and you are much more clear on what the direction of your life should be, or you could just be coming out of confusion in general. With the Lovers, you have the Three of Wands. Yes, every single card you have here is about moving on, moving forward, moving towards something new. A lot of people read this as your ships coming in, but if you notice, all of those ships on the card are pointing out. They are pointing out of the harbor. The real story with the Three of Wands is that he's looking at that water and it's golden in color, but when he looks and he thinks it's the desert, because of the golden color. But when he looks closer, he sees that there are ships on the water, and he realizes that it's water that he's looking at. It's not the desert. So sometimes I feel like in life, we look at something, a job, business, a person, whatever, and we don't really feel like there's much of an opportunity there. But when we actually educate ourselves and learn about the opportunity, we realize it's water. We realize it's an opportunity where there are boats that we can get on. And what do you know? You have the boat right here, the Six of Swords, and the ship over here. So it looks to me like you are moving away from something and moving towards something new, going on an adventure. With the Ten of Swords, you have the King of Cups. A lot of emotion here. So again, maybe some of you had a hard time or have had a hard time making a decision about letting something go with the Ten of Swords. I feel like whatever this situation is, maybe taught you a lot about your emotions or kind of like how your emotions dictate your life. And the King of Cups has explored his emotions on a very deep level. I kind of feel like this is you. I feel like the King of Cups is what you have learned, like I said, about your emotions. I'm not really seeing this as a person in your reading. Again, I'm more kind of seeing this as the lessons that you've learned. And yeah, that's really all I'm getting there. In your next row for the unexpected, you have a serendipity card and this between worlds card. I love this serendipity card. This lady here, whatever she is being lifted up by this four-leaf clover. So it's like a card of luck and getting into lucky situations. The between worlds card I also love. There's that flamingo and it's going from like black and white to color. So I feel like things are about to improve in your life in a big way with this energy. I feel like you are having more luck, and this has come up for you over the past few readings for sure, that your luck is increasing. And even if you're saying you're not lucky, again, luck is just preparation. Luck is us putting ourselves in situations where we can experience luck. So, I think we create our own luck, and I would do the things that you can do to do that. So, like, put yourself out there, put yourself in situations where things can happen. You have the Six of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Three of Swords. Like I said, some of you could have experienced an emotional breakup or an emotional separation. For others, this could just be, moving on from something that was emotional just in general. This could have to do with other people. It could be moving on from your job, whatever the case may be. And I feel that you are heading towards choppy waters, or you're heading towards calmer waters, not choppy waters. The reading improves as we go from left to right. So I definitely feel this is an improvement, not a downgrade. You're making an upgrade here, Sagittarius. And maybe that's what this reading is about, is that you are making big upgrades in your life. I feel like there's some sort of, this is like a risk, The Five of Swords, yeah, sure, can represent separation. Again, like every card here basically says you're separating away from something, so that makes sense. But I really look at the Five of Swords as needing to take a risk to kind of like of putting yourself out there. I look at it as like the risk of being wrong. The risk of you making a change that could potentially be wrong or could potentially cause conflict in your life if you are wrong. And so I feel like some of you are thinking about taking that, that type of risk. This could be to like get a new job, and maybe the risk is that you're leaving your old job, and it could be risky. Maybe you're doubling down on your side hustle, and that could be a risk. It could be pretty much anything. But I think you're like, not only is there risk showing up in this reading, but there's also kind of like this element of results. And we see that right here with the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles, he has produced a result. He has these Seven Pentacles right here on the card. So I feel like for a lot of you that you have produced a result in your life, or you're about to produce a result in your life. And, whatever this result is kind of like getting you to take a risk. The hermit, he has learned a lot. And I think a lot of you fire signs, by the way, are in this area of life where you want to do something new. And you could be thinking like, oh, this is a risk. But I think fire signs, especially you, Sag, you need to like look at everything you've learned, because I think whatever this risk is like very, very small based off the amount of knowledge that you have. So it's almost not a risk, even though you might be saying it is a risk. I don't know why I just pulled this card, because I wanted to talk about the Three of Swords. I feel like the Eight of Cups is clarifying the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be a heartbreak, sadness. Three of Swords is all about forgiveness as well. But really, again, I was going to literally put this Eight of Cups on that Three of Swords when I pulled the card for whatever reason. So I feel like you are walking away from something that could be a little heartbreaking or could be sad. But I also feel like you're moving in the right direction. We have the Eight of Cups in the area of the good stuff. So whatever you're walking away from or whatever you're ending is probably a good thing. With the Five of Swords, you have the Empress. The Empress is abundance and success coming in for you. I feel like you are entering into, this risk that you're taking could be bringing you to a lot of abundance and happiness with the Sun here. I feel like this is something that you've earned. So it's like you've earned the right to claim your abundance at this time. And I also feel like this is confirmation that you need to take the risk that you're thinking about taking, whatever that risk is. With the Six of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords again. So we actually have like the Ten of Swords three times kind of in your reading. The ship here is the Ten of Spades, which is basically the Ten of Swords, and then you have the Ten of Swords twice with the Six of Swords, which is also a ship. So it looks to me like you are, the first two rows of this reading are just talking about you moving on from something that no longer serves you. Next, you have this Embracing card and this Stillness card. This is coming up in the area of what's coming towards you. And so I feel that you're getting this, there's like this energy of you being able to heal or being able to take some time for healing. I think that this summer would be really important for you. Like if you need a break or if you need to take a breather, like pay attention to what your body is telling you to do. I feel like I've said this to you in the past, but I would definitely like extra pay attention to it. If you need to sleep a little bit more, sleep a little bit more. If you need a rest, take a rest. I think it'll be very beneficial for you. You also have the Sun, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Cups in the area of what's coming in for you. The Sun says that basically a lot of happiness and joy, like the best card you could possibly ask for, the best card in the tarot, is coming up for you in the area of what's coming in for you. So there could be like blessings or a lot of happiness coming in for you with the Sun. I also feel that the Sun sometimes says you need to release your inner child. We have this wall right here on the Sun, and this is like your inner child. And so the Sun can sometimes represent the wall that we all build up like against our inner child. And it can say that you need to do more things that are more like fun, playful, more things that you enjoy, more things that bring you happiness, like all that stuff. Like I would be doing more of those things that bring you joy, happiness, enlightenment, positive energy, whatever you want to call it. And I think that will bring you the most happiness with the Sun card. You also have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is about charging towards success. In your reading, I feel like you are charging towards success here, especially if you're going on any new adventures. Remember what we said with the Lovers. I feel like that Lovers card is saying that there's like a crossroads or a choice that you're trying to make. And I feel this new adventure is going to be very exciting, probably, bring in a lot of desire. I always look at the Knight of Wands as a card of desires. He desires to do something and he goes and he does it. It's just that simple. He doesn't do things that he doesn't want to do. So I feel for a lot of you, you're doing more of what you want. You have the Knight of Cups, love. Love is kind of like a weird thing for you, Sagittarius, in your readings. It's like here, sure, you could have it if you want it, but is it at the top of your mind? Probably not. I do feel like some of you could be surprised by love over the next couple of years. Maybe not like right away. I think this is something that could develop over time. But maybe some of you are saying like, I never want love again. But again, you might meet a person that kind of sweeps you off your feet here and maybe you open back up to it, right? So I feel for a lot of you that you are maybe going to open back up to love. And I say maybe because I definitely feel like it's a maybe for you. It's a maybe here, Sagittarius. It's not a definite. If you do want love, it's a definite. But again, if you're not sure about it, then I think it's kind of like a maybe. Let's see. With the Sun card, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are feeling more lucky for you. I've been saying this to you before. And again, if you're going to leave a comment saying you don't feel lucky, you need to go do things to get lucky. You need to put yourself out there. You need to do new activities. This is why I tell people to have new experiences, because that's how we get lucky. Having new experiences, we learn new things. We put ourselves out there more, like literally in public. When you go out of your house and you do more things, then the chances of your luck go up because you never know what you could encounter. Again, you have the serendipity energy, and serendipity is kind of like random lucky moments, or kind of like being in the right place at the right time. And so, again, if you do more things during your day, or if you take more chances, then obviously you're going to have more of those, serendipity type moments. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Two Wands. Two Wands about taking the lead. I feel like you need to take the lead in your life to build new things. The Knight of Wands is like the true builder in the tarot. And so if you're thinking about starting something new, or, moving or doing something different, I feel like that Two Wands is saying start building and see what happens. Because again, that's probably where you're going to get lucky. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Emperor here. Yeah, how funny is that? You have the Empress and the Emperor, divine counterparts. Like I said, don't be surprised if you're saying that you don't want love, but then love shows up, right? And sometimes I think we say we don't want it, but we actually do, and then the right person appears. And that's kind of what this looks like to me. It looks like to me that some of you, the right person could just appear, and maybe you're like, I don't want love, but at the same time, maybe this person looks really good. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card that says surrender to the divine. You also have this card that says work through your fears. I feel like the work through your fears card, again, is saying that there are certain risks that you could be taking in life. And if you take those risks, I think you're going to find a lot of success. So I think that, this is really kind of saying that taking a risk or putting yourself out there or doing something risky. And again, we're talking about a risk where you could be wrong, where you leave a job and go get another one. And maybe you're worried that the grass won't be greener on the other side. It's like that type of risk. Those are the risks I would take. I also feel like the surrender to the divine card is saying, surrender to the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups sometimes eclipses something out of our life. It's the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it right here. So you are clearly walking away from something, or something has clearly been eclipsed out of your life. It's very clear to me in the first two rows. And I feel like this part is saying, trust that the universe is kind of leading you to something that's going to be bigger and better, or hopefully bigger and better, right? With this energy. You have the Four Wands and the Judgment card. Again, you could be waking up to a person that you will marry in the future if you want marriage. Again, there's not a ton of love here. So again, if you don't want it, don't worry about it. This could also just be you committing to your purpose. The Judgment card, on a very simple level, is your inner calling. It is your purpose, or whatever you think your purpose is. And with the Judgment card, we have to leave things behind to step into our new life. Those people are standing in their coffins. The coffin represents their old life, but outside the coffin represents their new life. How many people do you know? They say they want change, but they keep just doing the same stuff, right? And the Judgment card reminds us that we have to do new things. We have to try new stuff so that we can break the habit, as Joe Dispenza says, break the habit of being yourself, right? And so that's what we have to do. We have to try new things, break our habits, try new habits, and that's what will kind of create this turnaround for you. I feel like the Four Wands is just talking about you committing to, breaking the habit of being yourself, which I feel like I said to you recently as well. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles kind of represents a couple things to me. Number one, it says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the work that you're doing, whatever it is that you work on, is it worth it or not? And I can't answer that question for you, obviously. You have to be the one to do it. But, with all these cards here that represent moving on from something, and also, there's a little bit of this like crossroads energy going on here in your reading. I feel like for a lot of you, you could be saying to yourself, like, do I make a change, or do I need to make a change with the Seven of Pentacles? Have I learned everything I can from my situation, or is there something new that I could be doing? And the Seven of Pentacles really says that there is probably a change that you could make. He's looking at those Seven Pentacles, and I always look at the Seven of Pentacles as a change in direction, because again, he's already grown those pentacles. There's probably something else that he could grow that would be much more successful, but he has to do it. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. I think you're increasing your options in a big way. Seven of Cups is about being spoiled for choice, but also about having new experiences. He has a lot of options there. I think that variety is going to be very important for you, Sagittarius. I would encourage you to do even just little changes. Like maybe you go to the same store or the same coffee shop every single day. It's like, go to a different one. You never know what can happen by just switching things up. You never know what experiences you can have, or what changes could happen. And I feel this is talking about kind of like mixing things up here. With the Judgment card and the Four Wands, you have the Knight of Wands. Yes, you are going to discover your new life by going on adventures. So I feel for a lot of you, this is just the call to adventure, the call to you doing something new. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like you're being presented with a big opportunity. Maybe that's what this is. It's like maybe the choice that's going on here is that someone or something, like a job or a business, is offering you an opportunity that's going to pull you away from something else. Maybe this is a move. Maybe it's just a fresh start. Sometimes it's like maybe you've been thinking about getting out of your relationship, and now you get an opportunity to move somewhere and start get a new job, and it's kind of like that thing that you need to take that leap of faith to start something new. It's almost like those are the vibes that I'm getting here. Same thing with your job. It's like maybe your job kind of sucks, but it's a job. You're getting paid good money. But also, I feel there could be like an opportunity that comes in that takes you away from that job. And it could be just that, like one opportunity that you need. And that's really the feeling I get from your reading. It's actually a very simple reading, as always. I think it's just saying that there could be some sort of new opportunity that takes you away from something else, but it's like a good thing. You have this cat. It says jealousy and gossip. I would completely ignore what other people think. I've been saying this all year and last year. The year before that, we had Mars retrograde. We're about to have a Mars retrograde at the end of this year as well. And so what I would say is I would ignore jealousy or gossip at all cost. You have this wheel. It says endings and beginnings. Are you kidding me? Everything I just said. I think there's clearly an ending and a new beginning. Pretty simple. You have this moose that says acceptance, eccentric on it. Yeah, there could be an opportunity. This could be one of those things where people are telling you that your choices are kind of weird or coming out of left field, but I would do it anyway. You have this triangle. It says choices and indecision. Are you kidding me? The whole entire reading. I feel like you are making a very important choice right now. And, this is what I would do. I would accept that Ace of Pentacles into your life because I think it's going to change your life here, Sag. Pretty simple. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.